Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today I think we have a really good topic that's useful and hopefully helpful to you guys out there because if you are broken up or heartbroken or you just broke up, you are single. And a lot of times you're not identifying with the fact that you are single right now. You're identifying with, I'm heartbroken. They did this to me. They did that to me. Um, I'm in a gray area. I'm in a friend zone. We're still seeing each other, but we're broken up. I'm not sure about things. You're not identifying with, actually, I'm single. I'm not officially with someone. Our relationship status on Facebook or Instagram is no longer in a relationship. And that's an identity. That's an identity statement when you say, I'm single. And what comes with that is embracing the fact that being single has some benefits. Being single, there's a lot of people out there that are really damn happy and excited to be single, especially people that have come out of 10 or 14 or 15-year marriages. I've heard repeatedly where they're just like, oh God, I'm so happy to be single now. Those are the people after 15, 20 years that just go, oh, it was so bad for so long that it wasn't heartbreak. It wasn't horrible. If it's your first time to the live stream, please feel free to make comments below. But about the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to go into the topic, and then I will get to your comments. But welcome. So being single, embrace it. Because if you were in a relationship that was 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and it was pretty damn good, and it broke up for different reasons, it probably broke up for a reason that had to happen. And if it had to happen, it's better than carrying on for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So embrace being single, or at least identify with it. I'm single right now. And what comes with being single? Eventually, you are going to start dating again. Might be 2 months, might be 3 months, might be 6 months. And I understand. I was there before. It's hard. You gotta heal some wounds first. You got to catch your breath. You got to take some inventory about other parts of your life. That's all part of the process. But eventually you are going to start dating again. And that can be uncomfortable because a lot of you haven't dated in a while. I know that was the case for me. And so you have to, sharpen up your skills, if you will, and get some new tools in the toolkit. And instead of fighting it, and the first date you go on was horrible, and you're never going to meet someone like your ex, or dating apps suck because the first 10 people you met were really bad. You gotta readjust things and go, wait a minute, okay, so how am I going to treat this? So today I'm going to talk about, and actually I got this topic, I was on YouTube earlier this morning, and one of Corey Wayne's new videos came up. I don't always watch his channel, but I like Corey Wayne. I like his stuff. And the video, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched about half of it. It was really good. And it was basically texting after a first date, when to back off and when to chase. If you want to go to his channel and check out what he had to say, go ahead and do that. But I thought it was a really good video. And I just hadn't watched one of his in a while, and it was good. So this is what inspired me to do this topic today and give my own take. And for you out there, a lot of times you will think, oh, I don't want to copy someone. Okay. I was just talking to someone in a live coaching session, and they're thinking about doing a YouTube channel. So they asked me, Mac, what do you think about what niche I should touch on, this or that? And so I, went through different things with her and asked her some good questions and asked her what she's comfortable with. What do people say you're good at? What do people come to you for advice? And so she said something about breakups. And I said, well, why don't you do a breakup channel and maybe you could model it after mine? And she's like, well, I don't want to copy you. And this is the difference now, folks. If you take someone else's video or their topic or their channel, but you have your own style and you have your own recipe to do things, that's not copying. That's just taking a shell and remixing. And in the future, that's what we're going to do. Just like music's been remixed for years. And she was like, really? You wouldn't have absolutely not. And that's you're in a good place and you're successful when you can carry your place in your lane and someone goes, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. And you go, welcome. Here's a lane right next to me. And there's plenty of room for someone out there that connects with you and your point of view. And so, like I said, this is thanks to Corey Wayne's newest video, and my take's going to be a bit different. But if you want to compare ours, go ahead and check out his channel and check out the video he did on that. So let me start. Texting after your first date, when to chase or back off. Okay. If you are broken up at some point, start identifying that you're single. This is important. At some point, you got to, go, instead of telling your friends, like, I just broke up. Yeah, me and so-and-so broke up. Yeah, me and John broke up. Yeah, me and Kim broke up. Instead of like, I'm single now. Well, I'm single and I'm ready to mingle, right? You might not be there yet, but you got to identify, I'm single. What comes with being single? There is a difference. People that are single generally, not always, like it eventually. There's a lot of perks to being able to do what you want when you want and not negotiate your weekends or your free time. People that are heartbroken are still seeing their ex or still seeing their ex. So heartbroken is one thing that you feel like you're a victim. You feel like what was done was wrong and you're just hurting. And that takes time. I get it. It takes time to heal a broken heart. But at some point, you're going to have to shed that snakeskin and get into reality and realize that you are single. And like I said, I know that takes time. If you're still seeing your ex, but you guys are no longer official and you don't like that place, that gray area, then you also need to shed that snakeskin and get into reality and go, I'm doing something I don't really want. This is serving my ex more than it's serving me. It's not fair to me. And I need to embrace being single. Hey, being single is good. It's a good thing. There's some benefits to it, right? There's some benefits. And part of the reason you're uncomfortable with it, it's just been a long time since you've been single. Now, some people would tell me, well, I've been single for 2 years, or I've been single for 3 years, or I've been single for 4 years. I don't like it. I want someone now. What I would say to them is, well, let's take some inventory of who you've been over the last 2 or 3 years, right? What kind of person have you been? Recently, someone I was talking to was saying that they had an alcohol. They're like, well, I've been single for over 2 years. And I said, well, you mentioned earlier, this was a live coaching, that you were an alcoholic for 2 years, right? And you've overcome that, which is outstanding. I said, but if you're going to count the single years of when you were an alcoholic, and then I asked, how often do you drink? How often did you drink? She's like, honestly, every day for 2 years. Well, that's not highly attractive, and that's not a person that's going to attract a lot of long-term partners. And so recently, she's been sober for, I think it might be 5 or 6 months. Something happened in her life and changed for the good, and she quit, and she's in a really good place mentally for that. And I said, now you're in a position where you are sober, which is important, and you're going to be in a place. Being single and sober is much different than being single and a full-time alcoholic. So if you've been single for a long time and you're really upset about that, let's just look at and maybe in the beginning of that single journey, if you will, that first year or those first 6 months, you weren't in a very good place. You didn't have a good job, or you weren't standing well with your family. So where you're at in life with other parts of your life, professional life, spiritual, physical, exercise, different things like that. Sometimes it takes a little while to start really good habits. And then that's when you'll meet someone. When other parts of your life are lined up, that's when you meet the best partners. Okay. So first dates, number 1, don't have high expectations. Don't have high expectations. So I talk about this a lot. Okay. And I'm gonna make it my model, the bad date model. What that means is, I've talked about this before, go on bad dates, have expectations. This could be a bad date, but fuck it, I'm gonna make the most of it. I got this from the writer Tim Ferriss that basically says, write 2 pages of bad notes or stories or whatever. If you're a writer, write 2 pages every day, and with the expectation of having bad writing. That way you're not disappointed. You're just creating a habit. If you go on bad dates and you're like, oh, one day you're going to be surprised, right? Because let's be honest, if you went out on 10 dates, you're probably going to have 2 that you're like, wow, that was really cool. That was a really good connection. You're probably going to have 3 or 4 that are kind of mediocre, kind of, yeah, they were all right, but there was something missing there. It just didn't add up, or they were a little clingy. And then you're going to have 2 or 3 that are just Train wrecks were the opposite. They really turned me off in a lot of ways. They had food in their teeth when they were talking, whatever. Right. So you still have to go, and let's just recap that. Let's say you met 10 friends, right? Let's say you had 10 friends, same kind of thing, right? If you just took on all the friends like you do on social media, like, oh, I'll just add a friend. No, I'm talking about real friends. Probably you meet 10 people at work, only 1 or 2 of them are going to be really, ride or die close friends where you're loyal and you guys hang out a lot because you just vibe. It's the same kind of dynamic. So number 2, first dates. Focus on good conversation and having fun. I said it before. It sounds simple, but I don't know a lot of people do it because people, especially men, I think, are so focused on making a good impression and maybe hooking up and making, snagging a long-term relationship. Look, be in the present, focus on having a good conversation and just having a good time. And that means being silly sometimes. I mean, in my live coaching sessions, it's not a date, but it is a connection. And what I focus on is having a good conversation, listening well, asking good questions, and at some point in the conversation, maybe having some fun, maybe having a few times where we can be lighthearted. Number 3, listen to them, and if you don't like what you hear, just don't go on another date. So listening, sometimes you might be going, oh my God, they said the one that always gets me is when people start every sentence with I, and it just becomes an I. Marathon of I did this, I'm this, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm sad, I'm angry. Everything's I. There's no real storyline. You can sit there and go, okay, or they speak like this, and then we went to go out, and then and you're listening, you go, okay, there is a finish line at the end of this date, and we just won't go out again. But at the same time, practice being able to be with an individual that's not your favorite person to talk to, and see if you can creatively open up paths to have better conversation with that individual. Make it a challenge so that you become a better listener and a better conversationalist. Number 4, don't worry about trust or if they are checking their phone to talk to another guy. I said guy because guys do this a lot. Trust takes way more than a first date. If you're on a first date and you're already like, yeah, she was on her phone a lot, I know she's talking to someone else, you're not in a good place to be dating. And you have some serious jealousy and self-confidence issues, and you got to nip that up because it's one thing if the individual is out to dinner with you and they're just checking their phone, not dialed into the conversation, which a lot of people do now. I'm not one of those people, and if I'm around them, I just don't have a lot of time for them. But if they check their phone a few times and they smile and giggle, they have a right. They might be seeing someone else, right? And if what they're doing turns you off, don't go on another date with them. But it's not your place to go, oh my God, I know they were talking to someone else. Can't believe they did that to me. Now you're creating some victim mentality. Now you're creating jealousy when you're just make a connection, make a decision at the end of the date. Would I want to go out with them again? Maybe, yes or no. If it's no, just cut anchor, dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I'm finished. It's curtains. Number 5, if you're nervous before your date, get some exercise and listen to some upbeat music. All right. A lot of people get nervous, right? They get awkward. Oh my God, what am I going to do? You go out for a run. Don't do what they did in Something About Mary, if you've seen that movie. Get some exercise. Do 20 push-ups. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Do something active to get your heartbeat accelerated, and then take a nice cold shower is a good one instead of a hot shower to kind of jolt your system. And then it'll probably relax you a little bit. Listen to your favorite music. Don't listen to hardcore heavy metal before you go out. This makes a difference in your mindset. Listen to some Al Green or some Marvin Gaye, some James Brown. I Feel Good. Shit like that. Listen to that kind of music before you go out. It puts you in a different mode. Your brain's like a computer, folks. You program it. Number 6, envision having a good date, not perfect. So instead of okay, what should I say? Okay, what should I do? Okay, if I do this, then don't fucking do that. You're overthinking things, and you're going to fuck up because of that. So just envision and when I say envision, you could just go, yeah, we're going to have a good time tonight. I remember I had to go back to school, I had a 1-month course to learn how to teach English as a foreign language. It was a very intensive course, right? A very intensive course. And one of the things I was nervous about was I haven't touched grammar in so long, right? It's fuck. I know how to write. I know grammar. but I don't know the tenses and present continuous. And there was a big test on this. But all I kept telling myself, I'm like, I'm going to pass. I always pass my test. It's okay. And it really got me through it. Instead of, and like, there was other people in the class that were literally biting their fingernails, going, "Oh my God, I don't know how to do this." They were studying every day. And I studied, I put in some time and everything like that. But when I got nervous or I got awkward about it, I'd be like, "Nope, I'm going to pass. I just know I am. I'm going to get it done." And if you go, I'm going to have a good date regardless tonight. And what I mean by that doesn't mean you're going to score a long-term relationship. It doesn't mean that you're going to even score that night, if you know what I mean. It means like, I'm going to have a good conversation. I'm going to have fun. And worst case scenario, I'm going to make a decision at the end of the night and say, yeah, that wasn't good, but I put my best foot forward, and we're going to have a good date next time, or I'm going to have a good date with the next person. That's just like a nice mindset to go in, instead of, I'm going to fuck this up. I always fuck this up. Don't say this. Don't do this. There's so much shit on the internet now. Everyone forgets, like, how about being you? How about leading with that? Number 7, don't over rehearse the date or worry about what you'll say. I know this goes on a lot because I get people to ask me this a lot. Just be you. Okay. Even if you're a beta and you're not masculine, you're not going to change that in a day. You're not going to get a tattoo, cut sleeves off your shirt, and all of a sudden be a badass. It's not going to, the woman will be like, what? This isn't your real style, right? You still got to be you. If you want to create more situations where you're a little bit more masculine, where you're more of a ladies' man, that'll happen over time and over practice by having more dates and digesting more of that material and putting it into action. But just, trying to make an overcompensation move where you get like, bad to the bone tattoo on your neck or something, it doesn't work. If you had a video camera on yourself, body language tells the most about people when they're authentic. I've studied this myself. I've noticed it about myself when I make videos. When you're saying something that doesn't resonate inside, sometimes you'll do this, or you'll take a deep breath, and people subconsciously, especially women who are more observant, notice it when you're being unauthentic. And actually, what's really attractive is when you're a little bit vulnerable, or when you're willing to laugh at yourself. Okay, I'll get back to that later. Number 8, allow mistakes or mishaps to happen. So if you're going on a first date or any date, right, first couple dates, allow in your head, like, if there's traffic, all right, there's traffic. There's a reason I'm late today. If she doesn't believe me, it's fine. But there really was traffic. She's late or he's late 10, 15 minutes. It's the first date. Something may have came up. If you're understanding about them being late and don't make a big fucking issue out of it, because you don't know. It could be they're not normally late and something just happened. They could have been nervous and they were getting ready too long. Be a little loose and flexible about that. If you go out again and again and they're late every time, well, then they're telling you who they are. Okay. You spill a drink. I've done this. Laugh about it. Help the person at the cafe pick up the drink, and don't make a big fucking deal out of it. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, oh shit. I always do that. I'm a klutz sometimes. And you pick up the things and just allow yourself to make a couple mistakes or mishaps, right? Number 9, this is really simple. First dates, ask good questions. When you're listening to someone intently, and I do this in live coaching sessions, and it's a skill, you actually ask questions pertaining to what people are talking about. Sounds simple in method. Not a lot of people do it, I don't think, in this day and age. Okay. Someone's talking about running a marathon, and that they've been doing 10K runs, and you go, oh, really? You've been running 10K runs? You actually repeat back to them some of the words or phrases that they said and put it into a question narrative and dig a little deeper about what they're talking about. And they feel like you fucking care, because you do. And sometimes, some of the topics I'm like, I'm not that interested, but you know what? Let me see if I can get a little deeper and become more interested with a good question. Number 10, leave some mystery about your feelings. Be neutral. Be stoic. Stoic's one of my favorite words, but fun. Stoic means showing no pain or pleasure. I'd add in be flexible and fun. Corey Wayne talks about this. This is dating 101 for men mostly. Leave some mystery about your feelings. End the date on a note where you're happy with things, but you're not overly like, when can I see you again? This was the greatest date I've ever had in my life. That's not attractive, right? Number 11, make them laugh once. Silly stuff works. So I'm going on a bit of a tangent here. You guys are still on deck. So this is kind of funny, right? I was just telling a friend about this yesterday. He was asking me about dating and first dates and going out. And I'm like, the ability, because some people are so fucking serious, right? They're so serious when they go out. They want to make such a good impression. They want to seem so professional and so great and so flawless. And I was saying a really good icebreaker is like, have you ever done this one with your hands? You're probably trying it right now, or you're going, oh, that's stupid. I can do that. But try it with your hands right now, right? Have you ever done this? Or this one, where you can make your fingers go like this. Okay. Stuff like that is like an icebreaker. It's like, what do you mean? You go, hey, can you do this? It's like, what? Oh, yeah. If someone's like, oh, that's stupid. But things like that are silly, fun, kid-like, they break up the date. They calm fucking things down a little bit. I've done that as an icebreaker. If a friend was on here right now that was a college roommate, he'd start dying. Because he used to always see me at the bar and I'd be talking to a girl or something like that. And then I'd do this. And immediately it would be like, how do you do that? How? And it creates also this thing where you're showing someone how to do something. It's kind of funny. So not everyone in the world is going to use that as their pickup thing, but I'm just giving you an example. If there's something funny or you have a magic trick or you have something to bring up, make them laugh once. Okay. And when I say, I shouldn't say make them, do something that's fun or funny. Do an impression of someone. But if your conversation is serious throughout the date, that's not a good place to be. And so what I just did was silly, right? It's a bit silly, but at the same time, silly's funny sometimes. And it just shakes things up. Because if you're not naturally funny and you try to be funny, it could be a fucking train wreck, right? You can work on humor. There's sometimes, you meet some people and they're like, yeah, it's just not funny. You're not doing it right. So, okay. Texting after a date. All right. So let me check in with everyone and I'll come back to this really quick. Everyone doing all right here? Yeah, you guys are appeasing each other here. Good. We got 11 on deck. This is good time. I'm going to finish this up and wrap it up here. Please, people that are watching this video secondhand, please put any comments or any ideas you have about texting after a date down below, okay? And if you guys have any ideas. So texting after a date for men, be short and direct. You had a good time. Instead of saying like, oh, that was the greatest time I've ever had in 10 years, I can't wait to see you again. That's highly dramatic movie type shit that like leaves no mystery and just tells the woman that you're highly, highly available and a bit needy in some ways. That was fun. Let's get together later this week. How's that sound? Right? If you're thinking about the next day, right? Or even right after you get done with the date, that was fun. Let's get together later this week. That's it. That's nice if you're just thinking about it. As opposed, that was super fun. I haven't been on a date that made me that excited in a long time. That's a bit much. That actually throws people off. Number 2, drop a line that shows you were listening. If you were talking the night before and they're steamed about, their boss, and they even told you their boss's name. Let's say it's, John Johnson or whatever, or Mr. Johnson. I don't know. And next time you're in a text with them and you're making plans because you don't want to over talk on text. I agree with Corey Wayne on this. You might want to slip in, don't let your boss get to you today. Or just, or let's say when you went to pick up your date that she had a dog and the dog was there, and, pet the dog for a minute and then you left. You can write in the text, tell Fido good night. It was nice meeting him. Okay. And those kinds of things are indirect, but it just shows that you're listening and you're in sync with, like, other than saying you're beautiful, I want to hook up, when can I see you again? You're actually entwined in what the things you talked about, and it's impressive to them. Some people might be thinking like, oh, that's cheap. Tell Fido a good night and it was nice meeting him. And then she'll think like, well, why didn't you say good night to me or something like that? It's indirect, but it just shows that you were in tune during the date. Okay. Number 3, wait a couple days. Don't overthink that amount of 2 or 3 days is fine. And just ask, hey, let's get dinner this Friday. So I've been asked this many times. I tell people I'm not a pickup artist. I help people with breakups. But if you want my opinion, this is how I go about it, is don't overthink it. You can go on YouTube and you go, it says to wait 3 days. Well, if you want to do it in 2 days, fucking do it in 2 days. Okay. Call them up and that's fine. You obviously don't want to call them and divulge your ever unconditional love to them, right? But in 2 or 3 days, whether that's in the midday or the afternoon, quit trying to get it right and just fucking do it. Okay. So let's just say this is your line. You went off, you met someone, you got their number, you got their text, whatever, right? And you wait a couple days from when you got their number or when you got their, Facebook ID, whatever. And you say, hey, it was Saturday. Hey, let's get dinner this Friday. Okay, just get to the fucking point. Don't try to sweet ass your way around it. Hey, you want to get dinner this week? Hey, it was nice meeting you Saturday. Let's get dinner this week. Catch up. Okay, so here's the part. The response. Okay, she responds, I'm not available. I got a work function. Okay, here's how many people we got on deck? We got 10 on deck. I want you guys to give me your take on this. So you guys are all inner talking right now, but listen to this and tell me what you think, especially the women too. So you've waited a couple days, right? The guy's waited a couple days and he goes, hey, let's get dinner this Friday. So the woman responds, I'm not available this Friday. I got a work function. These are the alternate responses. People in the comments, let me know what you think you like best. Number one, she says, I'm not available. I have a work function. You asked her out. Your response, number one, okay, let me know what day works for you. Number two, how about Saturday? Number three, I really want to see you again, so just let me know what day works for you and I'll make it happen. Number four, dun, 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 dun. And my fucking favorite, okay. Because a lot of this is going to be done in text, folks, because this is just the 21st century, 2019. I'd say 80% of you are using text. And so instead of, you're going to write something. Which one out of those four do you guys like the best? What do you like the best out of that? I'm going to scroll down and get to this. 4, lone Capricorn. Okay. That's what I would go with. Why? Okay is completely neutral. It's mysterious. It makes them think like, do you like me? Do you like me? Do you not like me? It is a savage maneuver. Dude, I've used it. And it's not an asshole. It means you're busy. And you could, what if you just add, instead of just saying, okay, you say, okay, let me know when you're available. How much cleaner is just saying, okay? How much cleaner is that? I mean, it just shows serious confidence to just go, okay. And I bet they'll probably get back to you and say, they'll probably wait a few minutes or 20 minutes and be like, you know what? I'm available Saturday. That would be best case scenario. And then you're in the driver's seat. It's in your frame. You can go, you know what? Saturday does work for me. I'll pick you up around 7. Is that okay? And then, or you could go, you know what? Actually, and be honest, Saturday doesn't work for me. I'll get back to you. Or Saturday doesn't work for me. Let's do Sunday. And you create this situation where now the individual is going to answer back to you. So, okay. So Jessica says, as a woman, I'll say it again, Mary, for you. Jessica says, add a smiley face. Okay, that's because that's feminine, right? But actually, I think the dry okay does get you thinking more, don't you think, Jessica? I'm saying from a man's point of view. Or not respond at all. If you really want to go out with the individual, I think that conveys that you're not okay, you're bitter, you're upset. You can do that, Chestnut 92, and Chestnut, welcome. I haven't seen you on the live stream before. But I would probably just go with okay, so they at least know I'm okay with that, because I like the idea of saying, like, I'm okay with it. I don't want to leave you on a complete angle where you don't even know what the hell's going on. I want to leave you with, okay, so what does okay mean? Okay means you're just okay with me saying no to you? Yeah, that's fucking confident. You're just okay with Not trying to set up something immediately after. Wow, guys always usually tell me, any other time, or could we make it Saturday? That's annoying a little bit. Now you put the ball in their court to kind of figure, did you want to go out with me or not? All right, so I'm going to repeat it one more time. I'll repeat it one more time. Mary asked, and I'm sure you guys didn't get it completely. So you wait a couple days. Don't overthink that amount of 2 or 3 days. Like I said, it could be 2 days. It could be 1 day. It could be a day and a half. I don't care. Let's not get into the precise amount of days and time. And you ask, hey, let's get dinner this Friday. They respond, I'm not available. I got a work function. So here's your options. Number one, okay, let me know what day works for you. He responds. Or how about Saturday? Or I really want to see you again. So just let me know what day works for you and I'll make it happen. How many people do you know like that? And then the final one. Okay. All right. Next part. If they text, you don't want to be overly available. So if they text you, and this is especially for men, because I think that men are like this more often than women. You don't want to be overly available. You don't want to be tricky. You don't want to be acting, but at the same time, you do want to be busy, and you just don't want to be like, oh yeah. I can clear that up for you right away, right? Number one, I had a great time yesterday. When can I see you again? So let's say the very next day, you guys had a great date. This depends on if you slept together or not slept together, I suppose. But let's just say you didn't, but you had a good date, good connection. And the person responds, I had a great time yesterday. When can I see you again? That could be neutral. That also, can be a translation of I move fast and I fall easy, right? Ask yourself, what kind of relationship do you want? If someone's very anxious to go out again and see you again immediately, I had a great time yesterday. When can I see you again? As opposed to, let's do it again, or let's go out. It would be great to go out again this weekend, as opposed to when can I see you again? The way language is used, you really there's like these little fucking nuanced things, right? Right. If someone just met you for the first time and they're already like, when can I see you again? I'm not telling you to not go out with them again. Just beware and ask yourself, do I want to be with a needy or clingy individual within 24 hours of a date that's already like, when can I see you again? Okay. It would be much nicer if they said, oh, that was a good time last night. We have to do it again. That leaves the ball in the air. It doesn't, Number two, let's get lunch tomorrow. I can't do tomorrow. Let me get back to you. Friday would work better for me. Let's do dinner. So if someone texts you immediately, right, and that you went on one date or you haven't been on a date yet with them, and they go, let's get lunch tomorrow. Instead of just going, yeah, okay, no problem, I'll meet you tomorrow. I can't do tomorrow. Let me get back to you because you got shit to do. And Friday would work better for me, and let's do dinner. That's you putting it in your frame and leading, okay? Instead of being highly available. Because the person's like, oh yeah, I'd really like to see him tomorrow. Well, if it's Tuesday, it would be nice if you left a little bit of time and mystery in between seeing each other again. So number three, I've never met anyone like you before. It was nice meeting you too. It was good connecting with you. So if someone goes, I've never met anyone like you before, and you've only spent one date or 2 dates, that's a bit of a red flag for me. It can happen, but it would come off a bit needy and clingy for me. It was nice meeting you too could be a response. It was good connecting with you. What would be better, right? It was really good connecting with you. So let's unpack this. I went through a lot here. I went on 33 minutes, but this is something that's, I think, better for the people that are watching this that aren't a part of the live stream. So let me get into the live stream. I got about 20 minutes. No, I got more than 20 minutes. Lone Capricorn, hello and welcome. Grab my phone's buzzing in my pocket here. I never check my phone, but something just came in. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's get into it, folks. Second half. Ding, 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 ding. Lone Capricorn finally got to make one of their live streams. Well, welcome. In Thailand, we say Yindi. Afternoon from Aussie, the Tassie genius. Well, anyone that's a genius is welcome here. How's everyone? EG, what's up, bro? I'm single, can play Xbox all day if you want to. Okay. Mary, Mac Daddy. God, remember crisscross make you want to jump? Mary would remember because we're in the same age group here. I've been single for 9 years. Well, that's an achievement in itself. You're a highly independent individual that can walk alone. So hold your head up high, dude. What's up, G Bunny? That's my dog. What's up, G Money? Missed you guys. Hey, G Money, strapping in. Here we go. Hi, everyone. What's up, Jersey Girl? You need to pursue at first, make the person you're talking to comfortable by not chasing, and both you have to do 50-50 of the work. Okay, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Once you do that, they need to initiate contact most of the time. So what I was doing more or less with this that I wrote this morning was creating some scenarios and you kind of working through that rather than giving broad statements. Let's create some actual scenarios and verbiage and quotes that actually happen instead of going, oh, you push and pull, or you need to be neutral. Like the responses I gave with the situations, that puts it a little more in context, I think. Straight fire. Hey, Dylan, not much here. EG, G Money. You can be in a relationship for so long, you almost forget how to date casually. Yes. Yes. I know when I came out of my 5-year relationship a long time ago, I felt like I was in the fog and it was just awkward. Because I just hadn't been there for so long, right? I hadn't approached women. I was in a monogamous relationship. Energy is already high tonight for sure. Hey, Jersey babe, if you're on a date, you should not be on your phone. Doesn't seem like a good sign. I think millennials, I think people in their early 20s, I don't think it's their fault. I think they've just been raised with it. And so it definitely is something that if you shouldn't accept it if it's unacceptable, and you should I've heard of people doing this. I never have to do this, but put their phones in the middle of the table so they don't grab them. And whoever grabs their phone first has to pay for dinner. I wouldn't do that on a date, but if someone's like that, I just think it's a sign of the times now. There's so many people do it. And it has to do with age and subculture and where you work and different things like that. But I'm a conversationalist. I like to fucking talk. So someone on their phone across from me, I don't mind if you need to check your phone or something like that. I do like the idea if you go, hey, like I just did right now. Hey, I'm sorry, I got to check this really quick. Just give me a moment. Definitely, it's out of bounds. Mid conversation, I'm talking, and you just go, yeah. That is a no-no, because to me, you're basically just going, yeah, I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Oh, what'd you say? You can't read a text and listen to a conversation at first. Sorry. Oh, I'm multitasking. I can do that. It's bullshit. You're doing it half-ass, and you're not. No one wants to repeat what they said to you. It's just fucking rude. It's out of line. And if you do that with your date, like I said, you can take a call and say, hold on a sec. Someone's texting me. Just one moment. Stop them in the middle of the conversation. Then they'll understand not to speak, and you can concentrate on your text, and you can get back to the date. Me and X I didn't go any dates because it was an LDR. We only spent time at school. Okay. There was something about Mary. You remember that scene? That was a great movie. Don't touch my ears. Don't touch my ears. Remember that? My nephew always has a big set of headphones on, and I always mess with him about that. Agreed. Get off your phone. If a person I'm on a date with is on their phone a lot, there's a clear sign of disinterest. I don't know, Gma. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's a bad habit, like cigarettes. Literally, there's groups of people now that they're addicted to checking their phone. If you have a break in 30 seconds in conversation, they're going to check their phone because they can't sit calmly and comfortably without checking their phone. And it's an addiction. I don't know if it's disinterest completely. I've hung out with some people in their 20s, and I'm telling, and you know me, I could fucking talk. I'm telling a story, I'm going on, and then I just lose them. After 5-6 minutes, they just can't keep their attention span, right? And that's not necessarily you. That's them and their lack of attention span, because they constantly need new stimuli. Rub one out before it eases your mind and you aren't really thinking about it. Thanks, Lone Capricorn. I'm glad you came in for your first live stream and went with a bang. Good for you. It's funny. Corey Wayne calls it dropping a batch. I've never heard that term before. I heard him in a video a long time ago say that. That was the reference to something about marrying. I would say it might be better to go get some exercise to alleviate any of that. I think the day after a date is more awkward than the date itself. Can be if you are excited about the individual and you're unsure about their feelings as a woman for thinking about a man, that probably if it's awkward the next day, you're probably hoping and wishing they call you, and that means that you're interested. I'm a foodie, so if I go on a date at a restaurant or even a coffee shop, I take pics of all my food so I can't put down the phone till the food comes out. Okay, well, that's who you are and that's what you like to do, and someone would appreciate that. Um, I know a lot of people take pictures of food now. But saying that, someone might line up and go, "Oh, I need to get one for my Instagram account too." Do I do that? No. Um, I heard that if you do that, it releases pheromones that can attract women. So go be. I've never heard that. That's an interesting take on that, G Money. I didn't know the pheromones part. Maybe you can get some of that tactical soap for masculine energy that I've seen in other videos. He said it's good. Oh, my bad. I read your name wrong. Okay. The thing I don't get is why do people take photos of their food is cringe every time I see it. You know what? I don't do it that often. I have done it if something's really special. Uh, what Mary said, she's a foodie, so she values good food. And so she wants to share that with other people. And if it doesn't line up with you, e.g., you and Mary probably wouldn't get along on a date or you wouldn't like it. But there are some other people where Mary and the date might be like arranging the food and having fun with taking the pictures. So different strokes for different folks. And that's not in reference to your and lone Capricorn's statements earlier. I hadn't heard that, but that's a win-win. Brian Union, welcome again, bud. I like this girl, but I don't know if I'm her type. She normally dates white guys. I ate the restaurant she works at, and she was sweet. She's on my IG, but that's about it. Well, you'll never know until you make a move, right? And the idea that she normally dates white guys, maybe those are the only guys that have approached her, right? So you don't know till you do. If you're already uncomfortable about that, it's going to affect you moving into it. So just do it, as they say in Nike, right? Because that's the only way you're going to find out. And the idea that like, oh, she normally dates white guys, so she automatically wouldn't like me. That's not necessarily true. But the only way you're going to find out is by, instead of like doing the text thing, being passive aggressive with Instagram, sending cool photos, she's not going to make a move on you most likely. She's most likely not going to ask you out. So you're better off just going, hey, you want to get something to eat this Friday? And she's like, no, da-da-da, or she's cold too. We already went through some of the other things. Just put it out there, dude. Putting a narrative to it where you say she normally dates white guys, so what? Right? If that's true or not true, normally is kind of like, I think, most of the time, whatever. So maybe you could switch her type. Maybe she's been looking to meet a black guy. Shit. Any tips? Dumped through a text after her mom got diagnosed with a stage 4 cancer, 2 years for text. Berto D, any tips? Dumped through a text after her mom got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, 2 years for a text. Okay, I don't understand the 2 years for a text. If you got dumped through a text after her mom got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, it's possible that that was a crisis situation for that individual and they had to give their full attention to their mother, if I had to guess. And at that very moment, they're saying like, this takes paramount and it wasn't maybe personal. I don't know what you mean 2 years for a text. But Berto, if you're still hurting from that, you want to send your full story to writemac.com. I'd recommend that. Or if you'd like to book a live coaching session, because that could be traumatic to get dumped by text. But what was the reason that she gave you? LOL. I'm sure Mary's not laughing about Berto. Of course you are, Mac. I don't know what that's in reference to, Mary. You can't take the text breakup personally, man. It's just how people do things these days. It sucks, but what you can do, sounds like she's dealing with a serious event, a lot to handle. Yeah, I think that people put a lot of weight on the idea that they texted me. Well, that's the primary communication. I mean, like I said, I always talk about how I like to talk and whatnot, but when I use the phone, I don't talk a lot on the phone anymore. I usually send text, right? Like when to meet up, or I'm on my way, or I'm doing this or doing that. Um, and so just because it was done on text, which isn't ideal, it's just the most common use of communication in the 21st century. If she normally dates white guys, then I would try to flirt with her first and see if she shows any interest back before you ask her out. Yeah, you could do that, Mary. You could do that. The guys that I remember that had, the most dates and whatnot, they just didn't have any fear. They just didn't have any fear. They wouldn't create narratives where they were like, oh yeah, but this, and this. They would just ask the person out. It's hard to tell sometimes if someone is showing interest or just being polite, or maybe I'm dense. I just automatically assume customer service people are just being nice. Uh, yeah, being someone that worked when I was in college and in high school, I worked like retail jobs and customer service things, which actually really served me because I worked with so many different people, and being helpful and nice to people, I developed a liking to it. But yeah, if you go to a department store where customer service is paramount, and I've worked at one before, they are being nice to you because it's part of the job description. But that doesn't mean you can't test it, because what do you have to lose, right? Because there's a lot of other people that think just like you, that, oh, they're just being nice to me for that reason. It's a bit of a limited uh, outlook in some ways, but I know where you're coming from, G Money. What I would say is test it for yourself. Worst case scenario, they're like, oh, I have a boyfriend already, or make some excuse. So if you're having, but I will say this, you can make, if someone's helping you out, let's say like trying on shoes, right? Let's say you're at a nice place, you're trying on shoes, and she's a customer service and she's being helpful and nice because she gets a commission or something like that. You can make the conversation not overly personal, but you can say, oh, how long have you worked here? You like working here? You can ask some questions that switch the frame to them answering you and giving more information about you, and then that'll lighten things up from just buying something. Rob, like I said before, I'm not sure about going. I have school. It would be more convenient for me on a weekend. Okay, you guys making plans on the live stream to go out together? That's fine. Live long and prosper. Good for you. Who are you and what have you done with Eric? Oh, is that Eric, the same person? Okay, Chestnut 92. I flirt with her on IG, but not too much. I did tell her when I met her at work, I hope to see her again, and she said I will, but flirting on Instagram, what is that? Like sending pictures that you're having a good time? Someone just recently asked me this. I was gonna send a picture of me at the beach having a good time. That's passive aggressive, and it's a bit pretentious. Flirting on Instagram, like making like get the best thing you could do is be in each other's personal energy. There's no replacement for being face to face. And so like I said, if you flirted a couple times or you made her laugh, if she laughed a couple times, then there might be some interest there. And the only way to test that out is to be like, yeah. And then if she says no, or she's flat out like you get an awkward signal back, then that's your clarity and you move on. You open up that space to meet someone else. The last guy I tried to date thought I was a woman of his dreams after one date, and there's no bigger turnoff than that. I know I'm awesome, but no need for that. It is, right? It is. Like some guys lead with like, oh, I did all this for her. And I'm like, I mean, so what else is there to work for to the relationship? But it also creates, how needy and clingy are you? I've dated women that are beautiful and got a lot going for them. And it's just like you go on one date and then you guys hook up and then you go on another one. And it becomes like, where are you right now? What are you doing? Let's go out. It's like, whoa, red light, pump the brakes. It's like, it's not how I operate. Shit. I'm not even saying take it slow. I'm saying, where are you coming from where you're so excited? We're still getting to meet each other because the connection's good, but it's still not 100% from a couple dates. We still don't know each other that well. Attraction's always going to be there initially. Trust is what needs to be built up. I need to really learn who you are. I need to learn you. I call 8 minutes after I drive off because they will answer and tell them I had a great time and thank them again. Well, that's kind of a nice thing of you, Mary. As a woman, you tell them I had a great time and thank them again. As long as you don't prolong that to, oh, it was so wonderful, it was so great, when can I see you again? If you just want to say, like, I had a really good time, that was great. Especially as a woman, reassuring the guy that you felt like it was a good date. I'm okay with that. I never text too much. I usually let a woman do the texting. Good for you. Forrest Straight Savage. I think I like it too. Shows that you aren't super. Can you say it again? I did. But not respond at all. That's true with four. You come off as kind of a salty or butthurt. It depends on the person taking it, right? But here's the thing, G Money, about the response of okay. It creates a question mark and an open loop. So the person's thinking about you. You follow me? So even when you're saying like, oh, you're kind of salty or butthurt, but you're not sure, you're even questioning like, it kind of makes it sound like that, but I'm not sure. So when someone gets an okay, they're thinking like, where's this person stand? And they want to close that loop. They want to find out. That's mystery. Hey, Mac, I was unwell, so couldn't connect to you, but we're going to connect soon. Snea Panda. Were you the one that made the appointment but didn't pay for the live coaching? So currently on my website, which is my fault, I'll get it fixed at some point. But you can make an appointment but not pay. But it's part of the process to pay for a live coaching session. Sneha Pandya. Yeah, I'm available, but you need to send your story. And if you're going to make an appointment on the booking, you also need to pay through PayPal. If you have trouble with that, send me an email and just let me know what the problem is or if it's confusing, and I'll help you. But there's been some other people on here that have done live coachings with myself and haven't had a problem with it. So, men, don't use emojis. That's too feminine. I don't have a problem with it. I don't use emojis. The only thing I use is if I use Facebook Messenger, I'll use that. And that basically means okay. It's the ultimate neutral response. Plenty of men I know use emojis. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. And if you don't use it and someone else does, I don't find it feminine. Men use emojis if they like the girl. I've noticed that. Or if they like using emojis. G Money knows where it's at. When I meet a new girl, I chat with them and get to know them a bit. And then when I have to go, I ask if she wants to trade numbers so we can text later on. And we agree on a time that will suit both of us. Yeah, that's kind of different now that you ask to trade numbers. Because usually you just say, just give me your number. You don't necessarily say, let me give you mine. Rob IS, what's up? That's my little trick to getting to know someone. Just doing 2 streams at once here. Oh, good for you. After 3 streams. I finally caught you. Trail Grace. If I remember correct, because my memory is pretty good, Mr. Trail, Utah's finest. I can pretty confidently say I have gained ground. I hope you're doing well, because you had an interesting story, I remember. I don't remember the full details, but it wasn't it was a tough one. I know it was tough on you. Sorry, I had to check that. This has happened twice today now that I've checked my phone. I have something important to do in 20 minutes. So an event. All right, let me get back to this. I can pretty confidently say I've gained ground with women using the following emojis. Good for you. I like the last one with the fuck. What is that, an eggplant? You're a beast, Rob. I said hello, Jersey Babe, earlier. I can be a beast. I certainly can be. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I like it when a guy openly expresses his interest. Don't see anything wrong with it. That's fine. And you know what? Thanks for saying that, Monica, because when I give you guys my opinion, and we unpack some of these things, feel free to give your opinion, and if that's what you like and whatnot. If you don't agree with me, I'm okay with that. Lost my place here. I was hoping you'd make it, but sometimes okay. G Money had some crazy times. Like one guy leads. This is great, guys. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for the likes. I appreciate it. This is a nice live stream here today. 12 on deck. Nice topic. Guys are supporting each other. I really like that. There's some light jazz playing in the back. I like how Rob always gives the ambiance of where he is and what he's doing. Good for you. Good for you, Rob. Rob, you were always in some interesting places. What was it, Mac? I'm sorry, Mary. I don't know what this is about. You must be watching the love chat, Rob, with his music. Hey, the love chat. This is Rory from the love chat. I can't stand his voice. Mac and Kyle are the best worth watching. Well, thanks, Rob. I take that as a compliment. G Money, aka the MVP. Tiger Woods winning the Masters. Can you talk about how influential you think parental relationships are on daughters' relationships and how they deal with issues like conflict? So what you're saying is how a woman is how a woman is raised is going to affect her future relationships. There's actually a song on that, right? Who's that guy? John Mayer has a song about daughters will be mothers. Yeah, if you look at someone's parents, if they don't go through a life change or move away or join the Peace Corps or really get away from their parents for a while, but if they live in the same city and same community, they're most likely going to copy traits and characteristics from their parents, even if they don't know they're doing it. It's not unless they go away. Like I said, someone that goes to the military, someone that gets some real time away kind of finds themselves. That's why, like, if you look back at rural cultures, what do I mean by rural? Ancient cultures, they used to have something to initiate people. And a big part of initiation was sending someone off to go on a fucking hike for, 15 days to go find who they are as an individual. Because otherwise people usually copy their parents and run that playbook. And that's not their fault. It's just that humans mirror other people. And that's instilled in them when they're young. So I don't know if that's enough or as much as you wanted on that trail. Let me know. But if you're dating someone, and I didn't really know this before you hear the statement, if you're dating someone and you meet their mom or you hear how they talk about their mom or their dad, it's going to be a big reflection on their own behavior. Absolutely. And you'll even notice, oh, she's just like her mom or she's just like her dad. That is not their fault. That is just how they were raised. So it is an issue and it's something you should look at. I like Kyle too, but sometimes feel like he's geared more towards men. I think he is, and I think he's open about that. I think he prefers that. Same here, Mac. 5 years, I don't know how to date. Oh, you were in a 5-year relationship? Well, the thing is, Brian, put yourself out there and go on bad dates, bud. Be in live streams like this. Talk about it. Be upfront about it. Laugh about it like you're doing right now instead of taking it really serious. Ask that girl out. If she says no, don't make it an issue about being black or white. Make it an issue about maybe she's just not interested. Don't make it an issue that you didn't run the right game. Just make it an issue about, wasn't the one, wasn't one to go out and keep it moving, right? Bro, you're the one who's multitasking these streams. You're the real MVP, my friend. Okay. Oh my God, I love crisscross. Remember the backwards? That's knowledge if you're in your late 30s, crisscross. I was in 6th grade. I was like 11 years old. Then that's when Starter was so cool. Yeah. The miggity Mac Daddy. Don't forget the dating guy. He's really good. Okay, I've heard nothing but good things about him. I've been to his channel a couple times, but yeah, that's fine if you want to plug him. I'm open to that. I'm just trying to learn a little more every day. 10 plus years and counting. 10 plus years of what? What gave it away was the channel name Masculine Energy. What is this? You want me to walk into one of these? Have you seen my baseball, Lone Capricorn? G Money, that definitely gives it away, but I have listened to him too. Sometimes when you listen to someone like that, maybe it gives you perspective. The power that we all have on the internet is digesting what we want to digest. So if you don't like someone or you don't like their point of view, you don't even like their fucking voice. I mean, there's some people, I get an audiobook sometimes, and I'm like, wow, I just don't like this voice or accent. It's just not clear for me. That definitely gives it away that I've listened to him too. G Money always drops knowledge in the stream, for sure. And everyone notices too. So maybe you should run your own channel, G Money. Sorry I'm late. I was taking pics of my food. Is that true? I think, Judy Jack, you said you live out of Santa Barbara near Goleta. I was just watching I don't know if you guys know this. I think they're pretty cool. Anthony Chene. He does documentaries on interviews and people with near-death experiences, people with finding their meaning. But I just like the way he does the interviews. And I think the lady said she was from Goleta that had this near-death. And I was just thinking about Judy Jack. I know people out there. There's an art to taking food pics. I want to buy some tactical soap. Go for it. Tell me about it. If it helps you, shit, man. Judy Jack, you're a foodie, are you? I like Judy. I love that name. JJB. Judy, what did you eat? I'll make my date. Give me back light from their phone. I get them all in too. Okay, right on, Mac. Right on to you too, BU. Nothing. I'm very sarcastic. You sly dog, Judy. I'm sorry. I've had people that I've worked with go, I can't tell if you're joking or not. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Sarcasm is humor for smart people. That's what I say. I never use my phone on a date. If you're really good with sarcasm, not everyone gets it, right? It's like when you're really good with sarcasm and irony, that one friend that does get it, it is a lot of fun to hang out because you can be in a group of 5 or 6 and you drop like a line and they're dying. And like 2 out of 3 people are like, what's so funny? I didn't get that. That's fun. What's up? She's a Queen 19. Text shows the wrong emotion most of the time. You can pretty much take text many different ways. Absolutely, dude. I agree. That's why in some ways you're kind of taking the power of text when you just write okay. Because it's completely neutral and it's not overly baiting someone to think either way. But I've had texts where I'm like, well, what did they mean by that? Right? Now let me show you guys something because I got a few minutes left, but we got 13 on deck. Okay, so what do you guys think this is? I just picked this up today. This is an exercise for you 13 or 12 on deck. What do you think this is? What does that look like? Everyone write in the comments what you think that looks like. To me, I don't want to say because then it will affect what you think it looks like. All right, what does it look like now? G Money and Rob, I'm sure you're going to have something. All right. What does it look like now? All right. So for me, my first thought, it almost looks like the continent of Africa. Could be. Right here. Could be with a lady with her hair blowing in the wind right here. Could be a thumbs up. What's my point? How we all look at things differently. How we all see something different with a different filter and a different look. Now, where did I get this piece of art? I was walking on the beach this morning and it was in the sand on the shores. It's just a piece of old tile, which is kind of cool, right? That it's been at sea for a long time in the Andaman Sea. And what's my point of that weird exercise? If we got a bunch of different answers to that, right? And I'm just going to scroll down. That's what I wrote. That's what I said, Africa. My point though is with that piece is that we all just see a different thing, right? If I hold this up and you might be like, where the hell is that from? Where'd you get that from? Is that this? Is that that? It's just a piece of tile from the sea, but we're all seeing different things there, right? And that's what happens in your breakup. That's what happens in your life when you have a lot of trouble communicating with people. You're seeing this and you're going, Rob and I go, oh, that looks like Africa. And someone else goes, oh, no, that looks like a dog drinking water. Or that looks like an ice cream cone. Or that looks like half a heart. I don't know. Oh, Skinner's on deck. I'm so sorry, guys. We're having a live stream, and I would keep this going. I do have to be somewhere in about 15, 20 minutes. So I'm going to keep it going as long as I can. But I will be checking my phone because I do have an appointment. And it's not with live coaching. It's an event. All right. So it isn't even marble, hon. It's not even a marble tile. My point being that when you look at things like that and you think like, what the hell is it? Everyone has a different thought. Like Rob thought immediately what shape it looked like. You thought immediately it looks like marble, right? No one was thinking, oh, you found that on the beach this morning, right? So this is one of those things where you just got to realize everyone has a different perspective. Everyone has a different set of glasses on. I'm just trying to get back to where I was. So if I skipped you guys. Mac, what if I've done cold approach and got the phone number? How long should I wait to initiate contact? I said this earlier. I wouldn't overthink it. I would go 2 or 3 days. That's it. And if you're overthinking it, then you're not confident enough to make the call. Just fucking make the call and make a date. Don't sit there and go, oh, if I do this right and this right. The problem a lot of times is trying to be right or wrong, when the reality is accept the outcome either way, and that's fucking confidence. Going into it like they say, no, who cares? No sweat off my balls. That's the ideal way to be. Not very long, no more than a day. Okay, that's Monica's opinion. Fine. You could do no more than a day if you want to. I'm just saying, do what you're comfortable doing. Don't go out of your way because you got other things going on. This isn't the only thing that you're focusing on. I told the last guy I was dating, I hate texting. He stopped texting me. Okay. That's a personal choice. I get distracted by how attractive a woman is and start to totally overlook all the red flags, going really to focus on the next time around. A lot of people do that, G Money. I think that that's fine in the beginning, but over time, if they become a problem, you got to be honest with yourself about what you'll accept and not accept based on being highly attractive. How much can you really know someone after one date to say you're a dream girl or guy? Run far away. I'm like that. But there are individuals that are needy and clingy, and these are individuals that usually have a lot of relationships and don't spend a lot of time single. I'm finally in a stream. You go to school in San Diego. How long you been, Rob? Nope, I'm out of school working in Cincinnati, the home of Pete Rose, the home of the Bengals, Boomer Esiason. It's one of the greatest Super Bowls I ever witnessed was when the Niners beat the Cincinnati Bengals in '88. Ex's mom always breaks up her boyfriend over something simple. Ex's mom always breaks up her boyfriend. They go about 2 months without talking. Then they will miss each other, reconnect, and get back together. They do it all over again. Well, that's a pattern. And then what patterns have is people run patterns because they anticipate certain outcomes. So they do the same thing anticipating. So you think like, oh, why would someone want to break up and get back together again? Because something about breaking up says when we get back together, we'll make up. There's some kind of reward in breaking up. And there's some kind of certainty that they'll get back together every single time. That's not healthy, but that's the way it is. I'm out for the night, everyone. I slept like shit last night and I'm going to bed. Jersey girl, have a good one. Now I've watched my ex start falling into the pattern. It seems she reached out a year ago after almost 2 months minimal contact, and now we are almost 2 months no contact. Well, if that's the case, Trail, and you got a high self-worth, which I think you do because you're watching my channel and you're following some things, you know what? I would stay away from it. If you're already 2 months into no contact, don't put yourself in a position to get back to ground zero. If you're asking this question, I think you kind of know the answer, and I'm just going to reassure you, double fucking stamp it and say, stay away, stay in your lane, stay in no contact. Because the kind of pattern that you mentioned above, yeah, it sounds like she's falling into the same way, and you don't want to get into that web. I was actually working in Dayton, Ohio earlier this year for 3 months. Rob, that's Bill Walsh's first school. Actually, there's a guy that lives here in Thailand that went to Dayton University and is from Youngstown. He's got a restaurant right down the street. He's been here for like 20 years. Um, that's not true. Anthony Cheney's the guy that does documentaries. They're not documentaries. They're good interviews. They're interesting interviews on YouTube. So if anyone's wondering what that was, most good-looking people have a bad personality. That's a generalized statement. So I'm not going to say that's true. That's going to limit you, and that's going to create situations when you meet good-looking people to automatically go, "Oh yeah, let me see what bad." Everyone has bad and good parts to a personality, and you tend to overlook the bad parts if the good parts are things that resonate with you. Money Walk the Moon is from Cincinnati, aren't they? There's an art to food pics. I'm personal chef, and food pics are everything. Okay, I believe you. Being good looking can mean you aren't forced to develop a personality in order to get people to like you. That's why most comedians aren't beautiful people. Oh God. Yeah, that's true. And it's true what you said, but I've met beautiful women, you know, guys that have a lot of women on them and stuff like that that have good personalities. So it's not necessarily the rule of thumb. And that's just going to limit you to think that way. You still got to think about when you meet the individual. But I've definitely seen where that's true, G Money. Rob, yep, that's right. Some family friends of mine went to high school with some members of the band. Facts, G Money. What I would say is that sometimes there's a wall up with women that are really good looking because they're used to getting so much attention, and that kind of shapes who they are, and it becomes part of their identity, and they have a lot of trouble when they don't get the attention. It's like women like that, once they had 2 or 3 kids and their looks change, they go through a lot of problems, a lot of issues. I had a it's not a friend of mine, maybe more of an acquaintance I used to go to school with, and he had a really good looking wife, and she had 2 kids, and she like went through, I think she like cut all her hair and everything like that. And she really identified with being good looking and getting a lot of attention. And when she gained a little weight, which is normal after pregnancy and looking a little bit different, it really messed with her, and they ended up getting a divorce. She got a bit mental. Um, Granite Crystal on some shiz. They have a good lives. G Money, cool. They have good live shows. Okay. It looks like Texas. Oh, you're talking about this? Could be, could be, could be, could be. How about this one? Doesn't that look like a dog? Have some fun with that. When you find that you're having a miscommunication with someone, realize that you're just looking at the communication wrong, and you're just looking at it from your eyes. New Hampshire, really? A thumbs up? Yep. Alone in the aloha, Keisha. What's up? Brian, you good to see you back in the stream. I can see Africa. That's what I saw when I first saw it. Perspective. Looks like a fish. I didn't really think it was fit. River King would think it was a fish because he likes fishing. Keisha, they held that back, and probably for good reason. She asked if I talked to other girls while we were together to keep my options open. I said, no, I'm a man of integrity. She thought I was kidding. I told her she didn't understand how much I loved her. She asked if I talked to other girls while we were together to keep my options open. I said, no, I'm a man of integrity. She thought I was kidding. I told her she didn't understand how much I loved her. Well, that's being vulnerable. That's being upfront. She said she's sorry, and that I don't know how sorry she is, and that karma has come back to her for now, and she for how she broke up with me. She said she moved on too quick. Damn, Skinner, that's heavy. Skinner, I got chills. I got the impression she either wanted me to or expected me to hate her. Well, if you got that impression, she hates herself right now. That's projection. Well, mine already went ring shopping this last weekend after a damn month. River King, that is called clarity 101. You got your clarity, you know where she stands, and you should know where you stand at this point. And the fact that you're LOL on it is fucking outstanding, because that's the only thing you can do. She sounded very regretful. Of course she did. She made a mistake. Skinner, you're a genius. You're an outstanding individual that that's moving forward and doing the right thing, and you're good people, right? So of course she regrets it. What do you want, Skinner? Is my question. What what to do to change that? Yeah, River King ring chalking after a month. That's ridiculous. A lot of time breaks up dodging the bullet. Just food for thought. I dodged a bullet. You did dodge a bullet because if it didn't happen now, it was going to happen later because that's her character. This girl did start saving lots of quotes on social media. She's dating someone now, I believe, but the quotes she's been saving sort of seem like they might be about me. This upcoming weekend. So, okay. So, anyways, I was doing NC with my ex for a couple months. North Carolina? No. I ended up reaching out a couple weeks after she did direct contact. Fast forward to now, and I asked her to meet halfway between us the upcoming weekend. So I hope it goes well. I primarily again focus on building the connection. Again, outstanding low Capricorn. I wish you the best of luck. Wish you the best of luck. Don't go into it nervous. Go into it neutral. Get your exercise before the date. Folks, I know a lot of good-looking, hilarious people. Yeah, there's exceptions to every rule. Folks, I do have to go. This has been really good today. I really appreciate the likes. It's been fun, and hopefully we can keep the same thing going tomorrow. I think it was a good topic today. I think it was fun. As always, we get a little bit off, but that's part of the live stream, right? I went about 30 minutes into seriousness. If you want to book a live coaching session with myself, or if you'd like to send your story in and get my take on a live video, go to brightmac.com, which I think is a great domain name. I was surprised when it was up. I told her if she wanted that conversation to be goodbye, I was okay. I was okay with it, but if she wanted to make it to me, that's fine too. We'll both be good either way. You're kind of giving her an option to pick what she wants, Skinner. You're giving her the option to pick what she wants. I want to know what Skinner wants. That's a little bit passive. If you want to, if you instead of saying it like that, say, "Hey, let's see if we can rebuild a connection here. How about, or maybe you don't want to use that. Let's go out Friday night and start fresh." And if she says, "Oh no, I don't know if that's great," just go, "Okay." That's it. Just leave it at that. And if you didn't come to the beginning of this live stream, you'll know what I mean by just saying, "Okay." Everyone else, it's been good. Skinner gets what Skinner wants, but Skinner needs to know what Skinner wants first, right? And Skinner needs to convey it clearly and directly. All the best. Curtains.